The island of Sodor is a wonderful place. There are lots and lots of engines. Who's that puffing along the track? It's James. James is a bright red engine. He can pull lots of freight cars. He has the number 5 painted on his tender, a bright brass dome, and 6 strong driving wheels that clickety-clack along the tracks of Sodor. James is the only red engine, and he is very proud of his red coat. One day, James had a bright new coat of red paint. He wanted all the other engines to tell him how wonderful he looked. The next morning, Sir Topham Hatt told James to help Percy at the coaling plant. But James went to gaze at his reflection in the canal. At last, James arrived. The yard manager told him to take an extra long line of freight cars to Brendam Docks. James was very happy. There were a lot of people at the docks to tell him how splendid he looked. So James puffed off. But the freight cars were very troublesome. They biffed and they bashed. They wriggled and giggled and covered James in coal dust. When James arrived at Brendam, his bright red coat was very dirty. Luckily, James is never too proud to see the funny side, but his pride can get him into a lot of trouble. There was to be a new holiday poster for the island of Sodor. Sir Topham Hatt chose Edward to be the poster engine. James was upset. He and Edward were almost the same. James decided to do everything he could to be the poster engine. He tried to get into the poster photograph, but Sir Topham Hatt sent him away. Thomas and Percy told James that Edward was chosen because he was gentle. And Edward didn't mind doing dirty jobs. So James was gentle at the coaling yard. But that made him late. James took the express track to race Edward. He was just in front when a signal turned red. James screeched to a halt. But Edward couldn't stop in time. Edward ran into James, and James shot straight through the poster. Now James was the poster engine. James knows when he has gone too far, and then he helps his friends. That's because James is a really useful red engine, and he shines most of all when he is with his friends.